The price of Bitcoin is just above $105,000. I've got two short positions, one on Bitcoin, one on Ethereum. The Bitcoin one's in a profit, the Ethereum one isn't. Both of them are around $400,000 positions. In comparison to James Wynn, my position is nothing because he's currently $126 million long, 40x cross leverage with $2 million. If we look at this here, he's currently $1.173 million in a loss with his liquidation point at $104,720. If you look at how low Bitcoin went this morning, he was within $40 of getting liquidated, which is insane luck. I don't know how he made it out of that alive. He got lucky at the end of the day, but clearly someone's watching over him this morning. But that's not to say that he's not having a meltdown on Twitter. That is absolutely happening, and we will be discussing that in today's video. If you're interested in what's to come, as well as looking at this trade here that we opened on German 40, the index, the trading index that you can do, top 40 companies in Germany, we're short on it right now. Why are we short? Because Trump's going to say something today, and it's not going to be positive. If you're interested in what's to come, drop a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. Most of you aren't subscribed because this is the second channel. If you've not seen this channel before, drop a like, subscribe. If you've seen it before, make sure you are subscribed and drop a like. Thank you. Let's try and get 1,000 likes. It'll never happen because these videos get 2,000 views. For now, maybe one day it goes higher. But anyway, we're bouncing on Bitcoin right now. Should we be holding this short position, or is it unwise? Let's decipher that fact first of all before we discuss what's going on over here. I mean, we can just read that. You can just read that. I'm not reading that out loud, but you can just read that. I don't know whether he's trying to be entertaining or not. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, Bitcoin, how are we looking? Oscillator tool, not on the 1 minute because it's not built for the 1 minute. It's built for slightly higher time frames. If we look at that right now, we've had a good bounce off of that level there. Good bounce off $104,800. Losing this level here at $104,800 would mean inevitably we're going to go down lower. And the final level of support for this range would be somewhere around here, which would be $104,000. A loss of $104,000 is definitely going to take us lower. And I kind of think it's somewhat likely, to be honest. The way that these moving averages are starting to play out, we've had a death cross now on the daily up here. We're about to get another one in a few more days' time. It looks to me like we're continuing to consolidate sideways and just kind of meander around in this range. What you generally see before another big move upwards is a condensing of kind of the range. So the range gets squeezed and then you have another big breakout to one of the directions. Which one it will be, nobody actually knows. Everyone can make an educated guess, and my guess would be to the downside. We do, however, have a momentum indicator that is starting to trend upwards, and it's been trending upwards now for a while, since $103,000. Be interesting to see if that loops back around midway. We'll see. But on the 4 hour, things are looking kind of stable. On the 1 hour, again, things are looking kind of stable, but we can see the momentum indicator is starting to drop off. Bitcoin is losing that upside momentum at this point in time with the way it reads it, and that would again suggest a move to the downside. I think there's definitely more things pointing downwards than upwards right now, especially when it comes to Bitcoin. But how is Ethereum looking? Ethereum has been trading very high for a while now. As you all know, it bounced pretty significantly. That's the 5 minute chart, but if you look at it on the 4 hour chart, we had this very, very, very significant bounce on Ethereum, all the way from $1,393 all the way up to $2,600. It's up 100% in about a month. That's pretty insane gains as far as Ethereum goes, but it's also starting its drop-off. Now, the drop-off that I'm talking about for Ethereum, we will lose this chart now, but it doesn't matter. The drop I'm talking about for Ethereum is this here, the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. Now, it's never recently continued the uptrend. We'll see. But we are lower. We've been making lower highs, which I think is not the best news. It doesn't really matter that much with it being Ethereum versus Bitcoin. There's a lot of things that you could read into this, but basically the trend for such a long time has been downwards. If this starts bucking the trend here and starts pumping, there's an awful lot of upside in Ethereum for sure, but you've got to question whether or not it's actually real world useful, or if the entire value of it is speculative and nobody is actually using it, which for Ethereum, I would argue there is a good case to be made for that right now. When it comes to Solana, I actually think Solana is one of the more useful blockchains out there. I think ultimately the most useful blockchain is XMR, Monero. It is what Bitcoin was meant to be. Bitcoin has been kind of stolen by the institutions at this point. Monero is where I like to park money these days rather than Bitcoin. I much prefer it as an asset. But if we look at this here, this is Solana chart. Solana, again, it doesn't look healthy. It doesn't look unhealthy. There's not a clear direction on the longer term time frame. If we go over to the shorter term, like the 10-minute, again, there's just no direction here. It's just been trading sideways now for so long, like a week and a half of just up, down, up, down, up, down. Are we going to get a considerable move in either direction? Hopefully at some point soon, so it gives us something to trade. But that all remains to be seen. And, well, should I be closing these trades? Maybe. Maybe these trades aren't the best ones to be having. However, I know someone that should have been closing his trades a long time ago, which is James Wynn. What has James got to say on Twitter today? He thinks that people are trying to take his money. This is the logic that you see of somebody that's just lost $100 million. It would be okay if it wasn't so damn obvious who controls these markets, billions of inflows, yet price declining, open up a long, straight away hunted and target my liquidation level every time. You've all been exposed. Criminal. The person that controls the market is the market participant. And no one is actually in control of any of the markets. People, every single person that participates, and this is what frustrates me about these kinds of statements. Every single person in the market is a market participant. Nobody, no individual at this point in time with Bitcoin has the power to push the price of Bitcoin around, even the institutions. You can see Michael Saylor buying $1 billion of Bitcoin in a day. It barely moves the price. He's not selling, BlackRock aren't selling. So who's moving the markets around? The markets move based on supply and demand. If there's good news, people buy, and if there's bad news, people sell, and if there's no news, people sell. So you've got 2 sells, 1 buy. If you've got a lot of good news coming out on the markets, which you've had a lot of recently, you should take profits. That's always the best time. When everything looks good is when you should be selling. But yeah, if you buy... The other thing was today, he started begging again. The begging thing was real. He's back to begging. If you want to send a millionaire some money so that he can blow it on Hyperliquid, be my guest. But yeah, you might regret doing that because this will, I'm 100% sure, get toasted today. This is going. It might even lose it in today. I mean, look at that for an aggressive drop back to the downside. This might even be lost in the course of today's video during the next few minutes. It'd be interesting if I timed it that way. I've been watching for this for ages because I do expect he will get liquidated. I don't understand how he wouldn't. Anyway, checking in on the stock market. It's not open yet, and yesterday it finished upwards. I don't know. I feel like everything at the moment is, with it re-reaching all of the old highs, everything is back at its previous highs. It probably makes sense for some bad news to start coming out. We've already started seeing it seep out just slowly, and prices probably decline again pretty soon. Oh, I want to make the video long enough. I could be waiting hours for just to drop another $300 to watch his account get blown. Don't forget, by the way, if you're not already trading, use Bybit, because with Bybit you can get a debit card, and on your debit card you can earn free money. I've earned $3,800. I got 4% cash back on the card. Everyone gets 2%, but yeah, you can get 4% if you trade quite a lot, and you can even get as high as 8% if you're doing a lot of volume. So check out the link for Bybit in today's video description. Shill out of the way. We're bouncing again. I'm not going to be making the video long enough to figure out whether or not he is going to lose his money today. But I, overall, still maintain bearish bias. I said I was going to discuss this trade here, and let me discuss this. This is actually, again, trading via Bybit. If I show you the account, going on settings here, you can see I'm trading via Bybit. And the way that you set this up is via Bybit's platform. So if we go over to Bybit homepage here, and then we go over to TradFi on that section, and then you can go over to view my dashboard. I mean, I'm all set up for it now, but you can use that to trade on MetaTrader 5, which gives you access with your cryptocurrencies to trading all these kinds of markets. Now, I'm losing $1,000 right now. It's not really the end of the world. I'm experimenting with it because I'm thinking that, to be honest, some of these things are a lot easier to trade sometimes than what Bitcoin is. So if you want to get hold of one of them, again, Bybit, link in the video description. It's actually been really useful and very beneficial for my trading so far to be using that. In terms of today's cryptocurrency news, Trump says Powell must lower interest rates right now. ADP number is out, too late. Powell must lower the rate. He is unbelievable. Europe has lowered 9 times. Europe hasn't lowered 9 times. That's not true. It's just not true. It's just not a fact. Congressman Brandon Gill has purchased up to $850,000 of Bitcoin so far this year. Again, people in Congress are buying Bitcoin. And I wanted to show you this man. So this man is the president of El Salvador. And he are now holding 6,197 Bitcoin valued at $659 million. if we look at how he has been very sensible in his approach to buying and holding Bitcoin, I'd like to show you a very important number, which is this one up here, the all-time profitability number, which is sat at him for 120%, versus Michael Saylor, who holds more Bitcoin, but he's only up 50%. And the reason for that is these charts. Look how much Bitcoin Michael Saylor has been buying at the top. You've got to question, is he the reason why the price is increasing? Because if he is, that's not the bullish news. That's not very bullish at all. When it comes to Mr. Bukele, he buys much more infrequently. He actually buys 1 Bitcoin a day, I think was the original idea. I don't know if they're still doing it. But overall, his profit is much higher in terms of a percentage. My concern for Saylor is that it doesn't require a very significant drop in price, because his average price is now $70,000, which is quite high for Bitcoin. It's not really high, but it is quite high for Bitcoin, especially if you can imagine we were to have quite a bad news week. We could quite easily push below $70,000. A 30% drop for Bitcoin is not something unheard of at all. It's to be honest, been quite regular through the years. Nayib is much more sensible with his investments, and this is a strong and sensible dollar cost average approach. That's the average price that he's paid. I don't know why none of the purchases are registering on here, but that's the average price that he's paid. So yeah, read into that what you will. Finally, in today's video, what are we expecting for the price of Bitcoin? Overall, probably not a huge move today. What day are we on? We're on Wednesday. Yeah, not a huge move today. Probably the big move on Friday. I just keep an eye on James Wynn's account, because if he gets liquidated, it'll pump probably pretty soon afterwards. And then it'll get everyone to FOMO the pump, and then it'll dump. That's what I would generally expect. I expect some flip-floppy moves on the market. I expect a general negative trend. There isn't many more catalysts left, and I think that Trump stayed up late last night, which means he's going to be quite tired this morning, and I think he's going to start slating the EU again, which I don't know if is bullish or bearish for markets, but generally negativity is not positive. So, on that note, slap a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I hope what I've told you in today's video has been useful, and don't forget, if you're interested in trading, check out Bybit. If you're from the UK, US, or Europe, many of you actually can't use Bybit, so you need to use Blowfin. It's very similar to Bybit. Check out the link in today's video description. I also trade very regularly on Blowfin, but check that out. Have a great day. See you in a bit. Also, one more thing, get Stonksy. I think the price is still $44, so that £44. That goes up tonight. That stays the same price. Have a great day. See you in a bit. Stonksy tells you how to make money, and then you don't need me all the time. Have a great day. See you. Bye.